Yo, let's go, and welcome to the video. So I hopped back on the PTR, got a 4-piece tier 6 instead of tier 5. So one thing gear-wise this allowed me to do was change all of my yellow gems to haste and spell damage instead of hit spell damage, which brought me up to 14% haste, so a little more than the tier 5 set, and it also put me just over the hit cap without having any hit gems. So I did the same thing, pretended like it was a normal boss fight where you pop everything at the start. So I got Skull going, I got the Destro Pot, I've got the Ash Tongue proc. The one proc I didn't get was the Ring proc. It didn't proc with all of these up, but I did get some insane like crits back to back. 4 crits right there back to back to back. But the biggest crit that I got right there, even without the ring would have added some extra. The biggest crit was 6173, whereas the tier 5 set, I almost had a 7k crit. But personally, I like seeing bigger crits, even though this did feel like it was critting a lot more often, which is probably what the sims put it ahead of the tier 5, because it's simming an extra crit. 5%, one every 20 casts over time is going to crit with this, so you'll get one extra Nature's Grace proc. So I went back, tried it again, and I had everything up. Had a 6400 crit with the ring included in there. That looked a lot better than the first take. Still 600 damage less, since that tier 5 is giving an extra 10%. The math kind of checks out. This is 10% lower. So there's a macro that I had found that gets your spell cooldown, which uses Moonfire to get the quote-unquote cast time for it, so you can see what your global cooldown is with your haste. So you pop a Moonfire, pop that macro, and it'll return a value for your global cooldown. So if I really wanted to break this down further, I could take the global cooldown, figure out the difference in DPS that Moonfire is giving. Tier 6, the hit was 681, it had a 401 tick, and tier 5 had a 625 initial hit with a 395 tick. Starfire cast wise for tier 6 is a 2.62 second cast. The tier 5 set 2.64, so pretty much the same cast time for Starfire. Spell power comparison, we have 1379 for tier 5 and 1415 for tier 6. So mana-wise, I think tier 6 would be a better option. It's got a little more intellect, a little more spirit. You're not reapplying Moonfire as often. 450 mana you'll save after, like a minute and a half from having to cast one less Moonfire. The downside to that is I use that global cooldown to reposition a lot, so I wouldn't be able to reposition quite as often while Moonfiring. So after comparing the two, it was a short comparison. I'm gonna stick with this tier 5 still. If you want more crits more often, go tier 6. If you want the bigger, juicier crits, stick with that tier 5.